To always get the latest Game Tea, do not forget to follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook at The Game Tea Podcast, and you can find us on Twitter at Game Tea Podcast X. We post memes, gaming news, retweet friends of the pod, and of course let you know when new episodes are available for your listening pleasure. Links are all available in the description of this episode, so check them out after the show, and thank you so much for listening to the Game Tea Podcast. Everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Game Tea Podcast. My name is JP.
I'm Peaches.
I'm Zach, who goes third, I guess.
What are you doing today? Okay, so today's episode is actually going to be a little bit strange. We are going to be talking a lot about Blizzard today, and I know that might make some people super excited, but it's not particularly good news.
It's absolutely terrible news, and we are talking about it because it's a big problem, and it's our duty as
whatever we are,
commentators, I guess,
news facilitators, I guess, and we're trying to give it to you, trying to give you our thoughts on it, and we are trying to be understanding and compassionate for our fan base as well, and just let you guys know what's going on.
So we're kind of breaking up the episode weird today because we haven't even gotten to itinerary, but we do need to include a little bit of what Peaches has referred to as a trigger warning for this episode. We are going to be talking about some dealings with Blizzard that have some sensitive issues to them, including like rape jokes, suicide jokes, sexual harassment, things like that. So if you don't want to listen to that, this might not be the episode for you. But if you're interested in hearing about that, and we will have more uplifting news later in the episode, that's pretty much what we're doing today. So
if you don't listen to this one because of that, we totally understand. We still love and support you. We're just doing our job. And we're going to tell you just how awful it is and why they're pieces of shit.
I don't have a funny segue out of that.
I don't think there's a funny segue to that.
No, there's not a good, there's not a fun way to segue this. Let's just get right into our itinerary, I suppose, yeah?
Yeah.
Sure. Peaches, take itinerary.
All right. Today on the podcast, we are talking about Blizzard is even worse than you may think. New World patches the game to stop bricking 3090s. EA is reviving Dead Space 4 years after closing the original developer. And we got some quick takes.
All right, with that said, so let's just go ahead and get to it. This is coming to us from Bloomberg Law. See, that's what I thought it was. All right, this is coming to us from Bloomberg Law.
That's what I said.
I'm gonna try it again.
I mean, if you want to do the NPR one, I got both.
Oh no, we're keeping that.
No, we really shouldn't. Okay.
All right, so Zach, what the fuck is going on?
Our first article is coming to us from Bloomberg Law. It is headlined by that Activision Blizzard is sued over frat boy culture and harassment. It was written by Maeve Alsop. So to quickly disseminate this here page, Blizzard is being sued. If you didn't know what the frat boy culture would entail, that entails sexual harassment, unequal pay, retaliation, according to a lawsuit filed by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. This is not just an accusation. This is a 2-year, I don't want to call it a study, but somebody, it was an undercover thing. Like they figured this out. And the company discriminated against female employees in terms of conditions of employment, including compensation, assignment, promotions, and termination. On top of that, company leadership consistently failed to take steps to prevent discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. So right there is no debate. These are just the facts. Like, this has been proven.
It's kind of vague and all over the place, though. Like, I think I don't know. I think when you make these type of accusations, like, it's so easy for people to brush it off like, okay, well, come on, what does that even mean? What's interesting, Zach, is did you read further into the article where it talks about that woman who took her own life for experiencing that sexual harassment in this type of environment?
Yes, I did hear about that, and it's
essentially
terrible.
Yeah, essentially they had a female employee who was on a quote unquote business trip with a male coworker who had taken her own life during this, like, I don't know what they were at, if it was like a convention or just some type of work meeting, I don't know, but she like took her own life. And apparently part of the reason she did it, according to what they were saying from the lawsuit, is from over a year worth of sexual harassment occurring at Blizzard, where like this goes beyond harassment, even like sexual banter, openly joking about rape, which is just plain not okay. And on top of that, apparently nude photos of her was like spread around the office and they didn't do anything about it. Like, what?
Yeah.
And
that's insane.
The thing is, like, this is completely unjustifiable. Like, this is absolutely unacceptable. And the worst part is, like, this is just how it is in the industry, apparently. I was listening to a stream with Alana Pierce, and she said, like, this is extremely common. Like, this is apparently the norm in the gaming industry. Now, she currently works at Santa Monica Studios, who's developing the next God of War, and she says that it's not like that there, and yada, yada, yada. But she says at previous places she's worked, like IGN, Rooster Teeth, and at various like gaming outlets. She described it in her words as a bunch of nerds that got a cool job and now think they're hot shit.
I want to believe that gaming in itself is becoming more inclusive, and for the most part, I believe that is true. But gaming can also still kind of feel like a guys' club, right? Where sometimes women get excluded from these. Now, there's a lot of different factors that play into that, whether that be like who the roles are in these main games or like, the demographic of people who play video games. But the discrimination of women who actually want to work in the industry, like, that's disgusting. It's really hard to talk about.
The worst thing is, I think, just how much detail is in this. Like, it is vivid in the description of all the sexual harassment, sexual assault. And I think a lot of people just were unaware of how bad it is. Like, even though there's been plenty red flags to show that this has been going on for a long time. But a lot of people are waking up to it just now, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I really want to take it back. JP, you said this is a common problem in the industry. Peaches, and we all agree with that. We talked about Ubisoft, who had similar circumstances. I didn't remember CD
Riot
Projekt
Games also had I don't know about CD Projekt Red, but I do know Riot Games had the same issue.
Riot Games, like Alana Pierce is saying, that more of this is going on. And like JP and us have talked about, it's kind of like, it's a frat boy culture kind of mindset. And Blizzard's the one who got caught this time, and they got really caught. And I'm hoping that this sends a shockwave through the industry. So I want to keep going. So JP talked about the girl who took her life. It wasn't like secret like stuff. They did things like cube crawls, in which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office and engage in inappropriate behavior toward female employees. Holy shit. Like, that's just like, I can't imagine going to work and getting absolutely plastered and harassing people and that being okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this is all just icing on the cake of like all the unequal pay and unequal like hiring conditions and just environment in general. It's just, it makes you feel so terrible for all the women that are trying to make it in the industry. And I'm so incredibly happy that Alana Pierce, for example, found a place where she feels like the game development and who you are and the talent you bring to the team is what comes first over, what your gender is. But it's so sad to hear that it's not like that in most of the industry. And even the names that she brought up, like, obviously I don't give two shits about IGN, but like Rooster Teeth, like that's really sad to hear.
Yeah, I mean, the Rooster Teeth, like there was a big blowback against Rooster Teeth a few years ago, and I don't remember a lot of the details. I didn't look too much into that because I wasn't super interested in Rooster Teeth at the time, but I do remember seeing a lot of blowback against Rooster Teeth because of like sexual harassment, sexual assault stuff in the workplace. And I mean, yeah, like the reason that, for those that don't know, like Rooster Teeth is a like gaming outlet, I guess. They make a lot of content that's related to gaming. Like they do Red versus Blue, which is like a Halo. They go into Halo and they make videos that are supposed to be funny or tell a story, what have you. Right. And they do a bunch of other stuff that I don't really care about, but Rooster Teeth was a big one that people didn't see coming just because of I guess how cool the entire like group of guys seemed. But I mean, it just goes to show you that it really, like, it can and does happen all over the place, and it's depressing.
So Blizzard was caught in the crosshairs for all of this. Now, it's important to know that these aren't isolated events. Like, Blizzard is being called out on years, decades of this type of mistreatment towards women. So the first question that people had on their mind when they were starting to finally hear about this news as it really comes to light and as more people are talking about it is, what was Blizzard's reaction to this? What did Blizzard do to put the public's mind at ease? Like, this is the moment where they could have done a couple of things. They could have gone the good route. Now, I know it's hard to imagine that there's a good route, but there is. There is. They could have made promises and a game plan on how they plan on fixing this. They could have made a public statement with an apology. They could have, explained how they wanted to be the precedent and how to better themselves and therefore better the industry so that it's inclusive towards everybody, no matter what race, gender, sex, whatever, anything you are. They didn't really do that. Instead, they pretty much just brushed the whole thing under the rug with like typical businessman jargon, right?
I got a separate point to make here. It's kind of related to like Blizzard's response, if we want to get to that.
Just go for it. There's way too many articles to try and sort through here. I'm getting lost.
All right, so one of Blizzard's responses, their lawyers responded to like the California's like DFEH, and their lawyers essentially said, I mean, I can't believe you're bringing up this woman's suicide to paint a picture of our company. Like that's just so wrong that you'd bring up a suicide that was directly because of how a person was treated in our workplace. That they didn't say that part. That's my added take to it. Like,
but that's what they're essentially saying.
It's just I understand that the lawyer's job is to cover for the company, but the take of like essentially their take is that the DFEH has no business interfering in Blizzard's business right now because they say that they're doing nothing wrong and that them bringing up the suicide is unreasonable, even though the suicide is directly because of shit that was happening inside the company.
Well, that's exactly where the scumminess is coming from, is because Blizzard is not making any plans or like any statements on how they're gonna fix the culture. Like I said, right? It's like them trying to brush everything under the rug, them trying to play it all off, and it's really fucking scummy. And I know that anybody with any sense of rationality whatsoever would listen to what that lawyer said and go, that's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. To go, well, where's your evidence? Oh, that evidence? Well, you can't count that evidence.
And Peaches, that was that Fran Townsend?
What's up?
Was that Fran Townsend who said that one?
I've read a lot of articles on this, and that's just one of the quotes that I read from their lawyers. It could have been from all sorts of different places.
In an internal email, Chief Compliance Officer, so I'm assuming that's not lawyer, Fran Townsend also said the suit presented a distorted and untrue picture of Activision Blizzard and criticized it for including factually incorrect, old, and out of context stories. I again think that just goes back to they got caught. A bunch of their internal emails got leaked, probably from employees who were upset. From President J. Allen Brack and Activision President Rob Kostich, they struck a different tone, calling the behavior in the lawsuit unacceptable, disturbing, and although neither actually said that this behavior has occurred in the company. So yeah, they are in full denial mode and trying to save face. We talked about how this is a gender-wide issue. You talked about how Riot Games had a very similar gender discrimination settlement. It's pretty fucked up. So there was a high road like JP was getting at. There's the low road, which is just complete denial, actually making it so the people who are coming forward are liars and being rude, which is what Activision Blizzard, you could argue their lawyers have to do that. You could argue that they could just say no comment and not shit on someone who took their own life, and make it into a publicity stunt. But that's neither here nor there. Chris Metzen, who no longer worked at Blizzard when this has not been working at Blizzard for the past 2.5 years, and Mike Morhaime, who was a co-founder of Blizzard, both of them no longer work there, but they had worked there for 20 years, and I think Mike Morhaime stepped down 5-ish years ago, and Chris Metzen 3 or 4 years ago. And they both had things to say, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase, but basically Chris Metzen said, "We failed, and I'm sorry. To all of you at Blizzard, those of you who I know, those of you who I've never met, I offer you my very deepest apologies for the part I played in a culture that fostered harassment, inequality, and indifference."
Which is...
That's the high road.
That may be the high road, but here, I mean, Blizzard's still in this position where they're on the defense. So you've got this story of all of these terrible things happening, Blizzard on the defense, but then an even weirder part of this entire puzzle was what the employees who are currently working for Blizzard had to say. We've actually got another article here from PC Gamer. Zach, did you want to get into that one?
Did you want me just to stop with the Chris Metzen one? Because I was in the middle of that, and then you were just like, you segued into something else.
No, I'm sorry. You can keep going.
Okay. Chris Metzen and Mike Morhaime said just that, hey, like, actually, we were a part of this too, even though we haven't been in the company for the past 5 years, and they arguably could get out of this for the most part. They wouldn't have any legal issues. They're saying, clearly we were a part of this because we were the leaders of Blizzard, and the people we left in charge totally dropped the ball. So I think that at least speaks volumes. I had an argument with a friend about how, like, at least they're admitted something's wrong. And I was like, well, now they need to do something about it. I'm hopeful to see it they'll do something about it. JP, do you want to talk about the people who are doing something about this problem?
Yeah, of course. So the next piece to this puzzle is like, okay, Blizzard's doing a bunch of big company shenanigans where they're on the defense, their lawyers are being fucking twats. But then, out of the blue, over 20 current employees, including the lead World of Warcraft devs, are speaking out against their company, which is included in a completely different article from PCGamer.com by Tyler Wilde and Stephen Messner. So, essentially, all these allegations are coming out. Blizzard's on the defense. The lawyers are pushing back. But then, I mean, irrefutably, all of these employees are starting to come forward too, who were probably just as, like, you know, upset about the culture as anybody else and who weren't buying into it, to speak on how pissed off they were that all of these things are going on. Like, we have a bunch of different tweets from all the devs. We have just a bunch of different stories, different anecdotes, different moments that they wanted to speak on. And
JP, do you want to talk about what Muffan said on Twitter?
Sure.
So one of the employees, lead game designer Jeremy Fiesel, said, "Many of us will not be working today in solidarity with the women that came forward. The statements made by Activision Blizzard do not represent us. We believe women, and we will continue to strive to do better and hold others accountable. Actions speak louder than words." And then narrative designer Steve Danzer kind of summarized, I think, how we at the Game T are feeling. They're going through a mix of outrage and sorrow and hurt. We're sad that this is an issue that keeps happening in the game industry. As gamers, we feel a part of this amazing community, but this amazing community needs to fix its shit. We need to treat all people the same, no matter, usually it's what they sound like. When you hear a girl online, don't be a dickhead to her. If you work with a girl, don't be a dickhead to her. Look out for her, just like you would look out for your friends. Everybody is human. Look out for each other. Guys, I'm really upset with Blizzard. I'm really disappointed in our game industry right now, and I'm really kind of down in the dumps about it. And I know we were dreading this episode because of that. Is there anything else that you guys want to say to this?
I'd like to criticize Blizzard's lawyer's response a little bit more, just for fun.
Yeah, let's continue to do that, because that makes me feel happy. When I can easily tear down a fucking warrior. That makes me feel good.
So, just to get us moved on, I'm just going to bring up this last stupid point that they made, and then we can get on to less depressing and heavy topics.
I would really like that.
So, one of the things they said, and they were saying this to the DFEH, the group, the government board that is investigating them for all of these. I mean, let's just call it as like crimes. Like, just these are crimes. He said, it is this type of irresponsible behavior from unaccountable state bureaucrats that are driving many of the state's best businesses out of California. And I just want to say, what total fucking horse shit that response is. Like, your company is abusing women, and you're gonna come out and be like, how dare these people investigate us for doing something wrong? What is with the government all in our business for committing crimes? I mean, are you serious? What the fuck is this response to the DFEH? And I think with that, I'm ready to move on.
Here's the thing. I bet those lawyers knew they were fighting a losing battle. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, well, because, like, this is the same company that laid off, like, 800 people when they had record profits in, like, 2019. Like, don't even fucking, like, go after the government board that's investigating you about driving businesses out. You guys are one of the scummiest businesses out there for no reason at all.
It's a hyper-conservative move, right? It's like, it's like the whole defend the business thing that pisses me off. It's like, oh, well, I guess we're just gonna, let this company suffer, drive them out of California and lose profit. How does that make you feel? It's like, I don't give two shits about your fucking profit.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, what?
Like, the company clearly does not care about the people that are lower than the executive, right? Like, they didn't lay off 800 people when they had record profits because they because they were struggling. They wanted bigger checks for those executives and higher ups, and absolutely fuck them for that.
Absolutely.
And I mean, there's all sorts of other things in this. Like, there's gender pay gap at Blizzard. There's discrimination in promotions. There's, like, men that are delegating their work to women in the office while they just fuck off and go play video games. Like, it is an unequal, like, work environment. Women are being mistreated. And this is exactly what a government body is there to do, is to investigate and fix this type of behavior in business. Like, what a fucking stupid comment to send to that government body. And it drives me up a wall.
I really do hate corporate businessman jargon and the mindset. I used to be one of these corporate fucking stooges. I understand exactly how they think. It's so fucking scummy. It really is.
Do you want to reword that? I used to be a corporate stooge.
I did used to be a corporate stooge.
What does that mean, JP?
I was a project engineer for 2 years on a construction site. I can't talk much about the project I was on because I signed a non-disclosure agreement, but it was my job to, like, I looked at every single person's production for the day, and I saw, like, how much money we were paying them versus how much money, like, they made the company. and we would use that data to essentially like decide what to do with employees. Like, it was so, I felt so scummy at the end of every day worth of work. It was horrible. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Can we go? Can we move on?
I don't think that makes you a stooge. I think that was different.
I mean, I think JP's point was more like he initially was in the mindset like where these corporate guys are coming from, but he's moved past that. He's a grown. He's a better person now.
I understand these people's. I don't understand the mindset, but I know how they operate. I know that it doesn't matter how much money you fucking make. It's not enough. And they are willing to do gross things to people who are loyal to the company to get more of it, is what my fucking point is.
Perfect.
I understand it. I've seen it happen. Zach, does that make you feel better?
I just don't want anyone to twist your words. That's all.
Yeah, no, I definitely...
Oh, fucking discriminate. You do whatever you want to me. What are you going to do?
Me?
No. I misunderstood what you were saying, but you cleared it up for me. I got JP's
back. That's why I want him to clarify, because I'm like, he doesn't mean what I think he means.
All right, we're done with this. I mean, there's going to be more stuff coming out about this. I don't know if we're going to cover it unless it's some sort of justice, like 1 million people get fired for bullshit and the women get millions of dollars. Yeah.
All right, I'm done talking about this. I'm moving on. Are you guys with me or what?
Yeah, let's get on to the next thing. I'll just go ahead and take this one.
All right.
There's no great way to transition from that. As we mentioned earlier, New World has been bricking the new 3090 cards. You know those graphics cards that are costing thousands of dollars?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those ones. Those are were previously bricking when playing Amazon's game New World. So, coming from the article, Amazon responds after reports of its MMO New World is bricking pricey RTX 3090 cards, coming from Matt Wales at Eurogamer.net. Yesterday, the beta launch of Amazon's much-delayed MMO New World and early gameplay reports have been generally positive. Considerably less positive, however, are the increasing number of posts from players saying New World has successfully managed to brick their pricey RTX 3090 graphics cards, an issue that Amazon has now gone some way to acknowledging on its official support forum. So,
yeah, you fucking better acknowledge that.
They have patched this as of a few days ago, so this is no longer a problem. And I believe this, I cannot confirm this, but I heard that NVIDIA is going to be replacing the graphics cards for people who had a graphics card that was bricked while playing New World. Because
all 12 of them.
it was a bit of a problem on both ends. The graphics card had fans spinning so fast you could take it to space.
Your desktop just starts flying.
I'm just
come back. I need you.
Man, Windows 11 is crazy.
My only friend, I need you.
And yeah, I mean, the frame rate you were getting was insane, but that's because the graphics card was working so hard to give you all of the possible frames in the world.
So, like, this wasn't like an instantaneous thing.
No, it wasn't like some people said they started the game up and then their computer black screened. So
okay. See that? I'd be okay. Like, some guy's sitting there staring at, wow, this says 999 frames. It's like computer's like burning up. Like, I'm just sitting there like, are you dumb? Like, I would be unplugging that thing ASAP.
It's literally that meme of like that Elmo doll like staring off as that explosion is happening in the background. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's literally what people are experiencing.
Yeah, so I just thought this was a kind of funny story because you don't see this kind of thing all too often.
Now, do either of you need an explanation as to what bricking something means?
I know what it is, but go ahead and explain it to anybody that doesn't know.
Sure. Okay, so
I also know what it is. It's when it breaks.
Yeah, but it's like, how does it break?
It breaks, JP. Go ahead, give us the nerd stuff, mister. I like to know all the stuff.
Yeah, with pleasure. Crack my neck. Ow, my neck! Here's the thing. Bricking. Now, if you remember, bricking was an issue with the PlayStation 5 when it first launched. So, if like, it's almost an error code. Here's the thing. So, it's like, the reason why you shouldn't unplug electronics while they're updating or doing whatever is because if you accidentally fuck up the operating system of a piece of hardware, that's what bricking something is. Like, there's an operating system behind like all these electronics that have the update that's programmed into the motherboard of these devices. And if you do something to fuck up that operating system, that's it. Like, your computer is literally broken. It has no way of thinking anymore. It has no way to carry out any operations anymore. That's what bricking something is, and that's permanent. There is no way to fix a device once it's been bricked.
So I was right. It's broke.
It broke.
It broke.
I wanted people to know how smart I was, okay?
JP, okay. You're smart, baby.
And pretty.
And beautiful.
And, don't forget humble.
All right, so Peaches, you talked about after patch. It's all Gucci now.
Yeah, they put a frame rate cap both like the built into the card and that's built into the game now. So your brand new $1,000, $2,000 graphics card is not going to take off.
That is super superb of NVIDIA for agreeing to do that, because they could have easily just put this right onto Amazon and being like, we're not doing shit, this is your fault, you fix it.
I mean, I think NVIDIA kind of said that it was their fault when like this started becoming a problem initially. Like, also initially, New World said that it was not their fault and that it was the fault of NVIDIA. So Amazon instantly was like, oh, no, that's not on us. Because Amazon doesn't want to have to replace your $2,000 graphics card to however many people that bricked their fucking...
I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Every breath Jeffrey Bezos takes is literally he makes the amount of money of 20 broken NVIDIA 3090 cards.
Oh, come on, it's more than that.
You're probably totally right.
We got to learn about... Well, okay, you know what a billion and you know what a trillion is.
He can send dick rockets into space, okay?
What? God, where was I gonna go with this?
Oh, sorry, I probably messed you up when I talked about the dick rockets.
No, I messed myself up. Have you heard me talk the past, like, 2 seconds?
This is why you don't record at 10:30 at night.
It's fine.
Okay, so
We're fine. It's fine.
This is supposed to be a shorter article, and it still is. But I mean, obviously, it's to save face and nothing more. But it is good on Amazon and NVIDIA for agreeing to get this fixed up. I can't imagine the absolute sheer horror all these gamers felt when their 3090s bricked.
Yep, it's a bad time. It's a bad time right there.
It's a bad time right there, bud.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly, but yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Thank you. I need to hear that.
Thank you very much. Tell Zach he's right some more. He needs that.
Chris never lets me.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach's always right. Remember, he's the golden boy, so.
Thank you.
The golden boy. What else do we have for news there, Peaches?
Last thing we got is the Dead Space remake. If you want to take this one, JP, because I don't care about Dead Space.
Yes, I will. First of all, if you don't care about Dead Space, you're wrong. Okay, now, here's the thing.
Peaches, I think you're right, but keep going.
Shut up. Czar would be able to do a much better job of this than I would, because I'm a moderate Dead Space fan.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how Dead Spacey are you?
I give it a 6.
Like, are you like, what do you call them? Little like Einsteins, like a 0, you know? Or are you like way up there, alien, like Ripley?
What is the scale?
Yeah, I'm very confused at the scale.
What is this scale we're working with
just
here?
Say something spacey, all right? I'm trying to be funny, all right? I'm really stretching it here.
I'm Spock eating a fucking creamsicle. Where on the scale that fits, I'll let you decide.
Thank you.
It's definitely above Caveman, but below Futurama.
Right.
Oh god, how great is Futurama?
We can't get too far off topic.
All right, look, Dead Space remake confirmed, and we got a trailer, and the trailer's looking pretty damn good. So, Dead Space is just like your classic sci-fi horror shooter, developed by EA Motive. Now, It's hard to describe exactly what this game is about without getting into too many spoilers, but the best way I can describe it is it so incredibly successfully matches up the horror genre with great shooting mechanics and incredible atmosphere. Like, if this didn't have all of the horror aspects, I would recommend it to you for sure, Peaches, because I know how much you love, like, the sci-fi space adventure. But this isn't Mass Effect, buddy. This is a fucking horror game.
Yeah, way back in the day, I think my brother made me watch him play Dead Space, so it's less scary.
Did you cry?
No, I did. I was mostly looking at my phone. I was just there for presents, but I was aware that it was spooky.
When your brother started crying? Oh no.
No, and then my brother started crying.
It's less spooky if someone else is in the room,
Hey,
No,
who peed in my pants? All right, so, but I mean, like, that, it's one of these things where we just don't have a lot of news. It's really cool that the remake is confirmed, and we did get this official teaser trailer, but the teaser trailer obviously doesn't offer a whole lot except the confirmation that this project is happening. It's even hard to remark on how the game's going to look because, again, these trailers can be kind of deceptive with that. But I have no doubt that they're going to knock it out of the park with this project. And I am so excited to play these games over again. And if you're remotely a fan of the horror genre, if you like sci-fi, if you like horror, any of that stuff, give this game an honest try. Look at the trailer and get excited with us because it's going to be fan-fucking-tastic.
So I looked at the trailer and I just saw like stuff. Like there wasn't anything there, JP.
Let me rain on your parade a bit, okay?
All right.
That's what I said. That's what I said, though, is that this trailer doesn't give you a whole lot to work with.
But I need to rain on your parade, okay? So let me do that.
Why? Do you need to do that?
I think he's got to. It's in the contract.
Again, this is what you guys pay me for, right?
You get paid?
You're getting paid?
Anyways,
Hey, hold on. All right, keep going.
So EA Motive, the article lists a couple things they have worked on. One of those was Star Wars Squadrons. Yeah, a decently, I'd say overall positively reviewed multiplayer, like space combat game.
Sure.
And then they did the single player campaign for Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I have heard overwhelmingly negative reviews of.
In their defense, EA did not make it easy for him.
I'm sure they did not. I've heard horrible things about EA working with developers.
You could just say EA in general, but yeah, keep going.
As well, I think it's important to note that they have said this is a full remake, not a remaster where they're just like upping the textures, adding polygons, etc. Like they are ground up working making this game brand new from scratch on the Frostbite engine. That's interesting. That's an interesting idea. That's a lot more work, but I'm curious to see if it leads to an overall better product.
Look, here's the thing about Dead Space. It's got the atmosphere and the mechanics down to a fucking T. I feel like the reason, and it's moderately popular, sure, but I feel like the reason it wasn't so incredibly widely accepted is because the one thing holding it back is I thought its story was kind of booty cakes.
I heard that the first one had a really good story, and then the second and third one were not good.
That's exactly right.
I don't listen to this game, but keep going.
No, Peaches, that's exactly right. But the takeaway from that is that Dead Space 1 definitely also had the worst mechanics, in my opinion.
Sure.
And then 2, mastered it. And then 3, kept it going. I mean, they didn't change a whole lot because why break what's not broken? God, I can't talk. Why fix what's not broken, JP? God damn it.
Hey, it's only 10:30, all right?
But yeah, you're right. So, remakes we have seen can be incredibly effective in bringing back the world of these older games. Most recently, we saw how much it changed up the story of Final Fantasy VII. In my opinion, for the better. To give you the same world that you love, but with a new story, I think that's important, and I think it works really well if implemented correctly. I think Dead Space's story was never what made it great. I think its atmosphere and its mechanics were great. If it adds a fantastic story on top of that in a remake, I'm all for it. I think this has the potential to be one of the greats. I really hope it will. And just seeing the hype that people have already brought to the announcement for the remake, I think it might have a shot.
Now, and like, let's just real quick, like, touch on, I mean, you spoke on Final Fantasy. I mean, we've seen horror games do really well in remakes with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, right? Like,
yeah,
there's definitely a market for remaking and like way upping the gameplay quality on these older horror games.
That's 100% true. Resident Evil 2 had an opposite problem of compared to Dead Space, where I feel like Resident Evil really had a fantastic story and fantastic mechanics, but I hated the camera angles so fucking much in that game, to the point where it was almost unplayable until you get used to it. And then they fixed it in the remake. They didn't touch the story much because they didn't need to. The mechanics were still pretty good, but they changed they put it as an over-the-shoulder type view, and that fixed everything I disliked about the game. They're really tapping into some potential here, boys. I'm really excited for it.
Well, I'm glad that you're happy.
So,
I'm never happy.
I think that's all for our main stories, unless you guys had some closing thoughts on the Dead Space remake.
Nope, super excited.
All right, moving on to quick takes then. Last week we mentioned Skate 4, and I'm going to be honest, they pulled a JP and they were like, I'm working on it.
Oh, is that what we're calling that now? No. Hey.
There were.
I'm working on it.
The balls on the people. There was motion capture, and there was flippy tricks. What more do you want?
I want to see some like live gameplay. I don't want to see them capping I don't want to see the camera, videotaping the mocap. I don't want to see how the sausage gets made. All right, I don't need that.
Okay, here's the thing. We got a trailer like the developers promised us, but Peaches is right. It's not gameplay at all. Not much about the game. Instead, they're showing us like how they're breaking down the tricks. They've got pro skaters in here with those tracking suits on themselves and trackers on their boards, and they're like perfecting the way that these tricks are going to look in the game. And I completely disagree with you, Peaches. I think that's extremely cool. I love watching how this is going to come together, because if you remember the view of Skate, like, sure, you see the world, but like mostly the focus is on the skateboard and the player's feet for most of the game, because that's the point of the game. It's a skate game. And watching these people pull it together this way, it makes me so excited. It looks so fucking cool. And you know what?
You must really hope they don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. I don't know. You know what's even better here? Zach, you actually like to skateboard. What do you think of this trailer?
That was skateboarding.
You nailed it on the head right there.
There was skateboarding in it. Some guy did a trick. Some guy broke a skateboard. Some guy fell. That's skateboarding. That's skateboarding, guys.
That's skateboarding, baby.
There are wheels rolling. Trucks going turny turn.
I'm going to say what's on everybody's mind. I didn't see a single Tony Stonks, all right? He wasn't there at all.
Yeah, that's unplayable.
Literally unplayable.
Literally can't play it right now.
So I wonder how Tony Hawk feels about the Skate franchise, since it directly competed with his franchise.
I'm sure he's just fine with it. He's rolling in money from
He's Tony fucking Hawk, baby.
Tony Hawk is the chillest guy I've ever met. People like
he
me,
really
they're like, you
is.
look like someone I know. And then Tony's like, oh, really? Who? And they go like, that Tony Hawk guy. And he goes, I am Tony Hawk. They're like, no way.
Well, no, you're not.
Did you guys ever know anybody like back in the day, like, wasn't there like a Tony Hawk brand of shoes, and like you were the coolest kid in school if you had the Tony Hawk shoes?
Oh, hell yeah.
Am I just making up stuff? Like, does no one else remember Tony Hawk shoes?
That's the different dimension shit.
I know that Shaquille O'Neal makes shoes.
Does he really?
Yeah, sells them at Walmart.
Can you guys tell me what this Skull and Bones thing's about? Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, ooh, that says Kotaku.
Okay, so there's definitely I just real quick want to say I just googled it to make sure I'm not crazy. There is Tony Hawk shoes.
Damn, JP, we almost had him.
We almost had him.
All right, so Skull and Bones.
Okay, here's the point. I'm really excited for Skate. I know that technically we're on the level of there's news about when we're receiving news for news in this weird metagame that EA is playing with Skate right now. I don't care. I'm enjoying watching the game coming together. I'm excited to get news at all, to be honest with you, because I didn't even know that this project was going to be a thing until like a little while ago, as in like a few episodes ago when we first started talking about it. I'm very excited.
JP?
Yes, Zach.
I'm happy you're happy.
Come on, Zach. How are you not more pumped up for this? This is going to be fantastic.
We haven't seen anything.
It's going to be good.
You literally watch a trailer of people saying, oh, that'll be cool. And some skateboarding.
And it was fucking sick.
I really wonder what the story of Skate is going to be.
Probably garbage like the first three.
Yeah.
What's the story in each Skate game was the same. It's like, oh man, the new skater's in town. I wonder if he's good.
And then Tony Hawk's like, we're gonna go to space.
Tony Hawk like doesn't fuck around. Tony Hawk is like, all right, you're in the fucking skate park.
The click.
Go get the letters. Bro. And
skate those letters.
Skate is like, your dog broke his leg and he needs you to make money to save up for his surgery.
That's
so you're gonna have to do a bunch of pop shove-its.
Better story than The Last of Us Part 2. Oh, I made myself sad.
JP, can we talk about the blood stuff now? JP?
Fine.
All right, so
hold on. I think JP has something else. JP, what else do you want to say about Skate?
I'm done.
I'll shut up then.
Okay. All right. So who here remembers Skull and Bones from like 2018 E3?
I was in wait.
We were not in high school then.
I thought you said
2013. Yes, we were. We were all seniors.
Did I say 2013? I thought I said 2018.
No, I'm looking on the article. It says 2013.
Does it say? I thought it said 2018.
Skull and Bones development began, but you might be somewhere else. Oh, hands-on demo 2017. Okay, all right.
All right, well, all that aside, so Skull and Bones initially was supposed to be just like an expansion for Assassin's Creed with multiplayer boat combat. And then it took on a whole life of its own. And apparently now it has become a development nightmare for Ubisoft trying to figure out like what to do with it. And I mean, I don't really have much to say other than I think this is hysterical. Like, I mean, come on.
It couldn't have happened to a better company.
I would love for this to happen to, I'd love for this to happen to EA.
Right?
Like this is hysterical. They are sinking a ton of money into a project they can't figure out how to make work. Whereas EA just is like, all right, well, they go to BioWare and they say, hey, we need Anthem. And BioWare is like, all right, well, we've had to scrap it 2 times. Can we have like an extra year to work on it? And they're like, no, we need it this year. And then they release Anthem.
I like the comment by the Ubisoft developer throwing shade.
I want to read that out. I forgot what it was, to be honest.
It's too big to fail, just like the banks in the US.
Oh my god. This is probably going to suck. And you know why that's a shame? It's because Assassin's Creed Black Flag is my favorite Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take. I mean, I liked it a lot, but I will say it takes a long time to get into. Like, I had to give that game 4 hours to get going.
Hey, that's better than World of Warcraft.
I would argue that a game that provides like 40 to 50 hours of gameplay, I mean, that's not terrible. Because it kind of pulls a Red Dead Redemption 2 where it's got that sequence at the beginning. With Black Flag, it's on the island where you're just getting started collecting coconuts. I don't remember exactly what you're doing. But after that, oh my god, Black Flag did so much to switch up the Assassin's Creed formula, and I fucking loved it. And then Assassin's Creed went right back to their bullshit the next game, but god, Black Flag was good.
Anyway, so this cost Ubisoft more than $120 million so far, so that's fun.
Yeah, I can't see Skull and Bones doing anything good now. Right? Like, there's like a cheaper version of the game on Steam called like Black Wake or something like that. Yeah. And it's just ship combat, and like to regain health you drink tea and you just run around your ship and shoot cannons at the other guys, and there's like a live voice chat where you can hear everybody screaming if they're close enough to your boat. It's chaotic and it seems funny.
Chaz, what was that TikTok you sent us?
I don't know. I've sent you guys a lot of those.
The one where the guy's driving his boat.
Oh, are you talking about the Sea of Thieves one where he drives right down the middle of the fucking ship combat? He's like, I'm just passing through.
I think the Sea of Thieves came out and these guys were like, fuck.
It's gotta be, because Sea of Thieves did ship combat so great. So much fun.
Just passing through. So you picked a bad time to pass through.
I know in Sea of Thieves, me and my buddies used to get our lanterns, and like I would have like a bluish tinted lantern one, and they would have a normal lantern, and we'd flash our lights on and off like we were the police chasing after these boats.
That's good. To wrap up this brief hot take,
JP.
Yes.
Do your best Johnny Depp impression while you do this.
No, we don't have time.
Hold on, I could do this.
All right, so
just the first paragraph. A few people said it was cursed. Others simply had no idea what they were supposed to be making. Nobody knew what the fuck they were doing, said one former developer. That was awful.
Hey, honestly, I had a good time.
I'm glad. All right, we got one more to go, and I'm actually pretty interested in this last one. What do we have, Peaches?
So, collectors are pretty stumped at why a shrink-wrap sealed box of Super Mario 64 sold for $1.5 million when like the previous record for a similar item was like $300,000 to $400,000.
Who bought this for $1.5 million?
I'm pretty sure they deliberately don't give the name because people would be going after this guy on Twitter like, just what the fuck were you thinking? $1.5 million?
Well, that's just like, this guy might deserve a little bit of scorn.
He is clearly bad with money.
Well, I assume if he's got that much money, he's probably really good.
Maybe this is going to be a tax write-off. Like maybe he'll say it's art and he gets a tax write-off for donating it.
I mean, they even showed a picture. Let's just admire this. It's saying that it was a single shrink-wrapped sealed box copy of Super Mario 64 in mint condition. That's pretty cool, but is it worth $1.5 million?
I have a Super Mario World on my Nintendo Switch.
I'll give you $4 for it because that is all I have to my name.
I have Super Mario World on my Nintendo 3DS.
$6.
Pretty sure I've got Super Mario World on my Wii U, if I still had my Wii U.
You said Wii U, that brought it down to $3.
And values lost.
You are now gonna have to pay me if you want me to take that piece of garbage.
So, guys, basically everybody's dumbfounded. All the professionals, such as the Video Game History Foundation and co-owner of Retro Game Store, Pink Gorilla. I could understand the logic behind a lot of expensive ones. This felt like the first one I understand the why.
When other collectors are looking at your purchase and saying, huh, why? You did something wrong.
Yeah.
But also, they got $1.5 million to blow on a video game, so they're probably like, it's fine.
It's fine. This is fine. This thing's gonna hold its value like crazy, baby.
I gotta assume that like the release of the Mario like 3D collection kind of hurt the price of like what a Mario 64 would sell for, right? Like, I mean, I get there's like a vintage like value to it, like it's an OG cartridge for this N64, but like there's also value that it was like that was the only way you could play Mario 64 without like an emulator, right?
It's really hard to, when things like this happen, when games like the Super Mario collection got released, it's really hard to tell whether that's gonna tank the original, like the value of the original copy or not. It's really up to the collectors. It's almost like that moment of like, I need an adult, and it's like, I am an adult. It's like, when things like that happen, all the collectors kind of look amongst themselves, and they're like, well, what's gonna happen? And then one random person just yells, the price will drop! And then they all agree with each other. They're just like, yep, price drops, price drops. They don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, it's just confidently fucking guessing. But aren't we all?
Yeah, no kidding. Zach, would you like to talk about games that are being released this week?
Of course. On July 28th, we have Chernobyl Light coming to PC. Again, on that day, we have The Forgotten City coming to PS5, PS4, the Xbox Series X/S. I can just say Xbox Series, can't I? I want to say Xbox Series.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that's what we've been
We
doing.
should honestly just start saying Xbox Series.
And then Xbox One and PC. Then on July 29th, we have 3 games coming. First is Elder Souls coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and Switch and PC. Then we have Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered series coming to PC, iOS, Android, and definitely not consoles for some reason.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
Then we have The Ascent, which is one of those highly touted Game Pass launch games. Actually, you hear pretty good stuff. It's coming to Xbox Series and Xbox One and PC. Then we have on July 30th, Alone With You, coming to Nintendo Switch. On August 3rd, we have Limnus Gate coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, PC, The Ramp. Oh, sorry. And then the next game is The Ramp coming to PC. Kind of like fuse those together.
The Ramp.
The Ramp. Where's The Ramp, Zach? I don't know.
Well, you know,
Ramp.
Lemnis Gate is also coming out for The Ramp.
Oh, okay, yeah. You play it on your while you do a 360. All right. On the next day, August 4th, My Time at Portia. Portia?
I honestly could be either. I've been corrected saying it both ways, so even I don't know, and I've put like a lot of hours into this game.
That game that Peaches got corrected for. I'm gonna go with Portia. My Time at Portia is coming to iOS and Android. And then Dungeon Defenders Awakened is coming to Switch. All right, guys. So we didn't have a hype up game, but I played Pokemon Unite, and it was really fun. It's already out, and if you listen to this episode day one, I think you still have time to get the launch mode of Zeraora if you download the game and do the tutorial.
All right, Zach, so here's the thing. I want to hear more about this game, but we are already about to hit an hour, so I'm putting a timer on. You have 15 seconds to talk about how much you love this game. Go.
Super cute Pokemon. I get to play as a Gibble running around. It's pay to win, but it's just casual, so it's just kind of fun. It's Pokemon MOBA, but it's actually good. And it's only 10 minutes long, so people can't be so mean to you.
So people can't be mean to you.
Yeah,
stop being mean to me.
I've gotten flamed a lot on Rocket League. I have yet to be flamed on Pokemon Unite.
I can't even troll. Like, it's kind of annoying, but I'm also happy about it.
I will say the game is very stompy. Other than that, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Boys, that episode was full of a lot of mixed emotions.
Yeah, I mean, it started off heavy, and I think, I don't know, I'm conflicted.
I'm just happy episode's over.
I hate to lessen the impact of how serious the first thing we talked about was.
Who's our fucking script writer?
Yeah, whoever that guy is, he needs to go to sleep right now because he's been up all night.
I thought you were going to play Pokemon with me.
Aha! So it's Peaches! JK, I knew it was you. In fact, I assigned you that job.
Oh.
Oh, indeed, sir.
Anyways, we getting out of here?
Yes, we are. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Game Tea Podcast. We'll see you on the next episode.
Who just got their game tea?
Oh my god, I wanted it.
I know, I said who, and then one of you guys was going to say you.
Who got the game tea? I got
You
the
got
game
the
tea.
game tea.
Yeah.
Bye.
Later.
If you like what you heard today and you're looking for more ways to get your game tea fix, check us out on Patreon. With bronze, silver, and gold tiers starting at $2 a month, there are several incredible rewards you can receive for supporting the show, such as a follow from us on Twitter, access to a monthly Q&A session, an invitation to our private Discord server, and even bonus episodes of the podcast only accessible to patrons. Your donations will be used to make the show even better. The link to Patreon is in the description with our social media, so go check it out. Once again, thank you so much for listening to the Game Tea Podcast.